tema for today, for this evening, is connected with the motivation. As I often mention the importance of our motivation, we will a little bit go through why and how to walk towards enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. We often hear about the differences between the two main traditions in Buddhism, Theravada and Mahayana. The Theravada tradition being more oriented towards the realization of samsara, the liberation, the complete liberation from all kind of suffering of the samsara, and the Mahayana tradition being oriented towards how it is possible to engage in helping all sentient beings without any limit in time and space. It is clear that within the Theravada path they do not lack compassion as often it could be misinterpreted. A Theravada practitioner of Buddhism does practice compassion all of its existence and throughout his or her own practice as well. Yet there are differences in this practice and differences in this motivation. The motivation to help other sentient beings within this first tradition is limited to the achievements of nirvana, of liberation. Once the practitioner enters into nirvana, there is a non-dual state of mind in which the practitioner will remain, the consciousness of the practitioner will remain. Dot. It's like 22 o'clock extinction of the fire, yes, of the light. Whereas within the Mahayana there is no limit in the time. The practitioner of the Mahayana tradition will continuously pursue his goal, which is to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. So, the practitioner of the Mahayana path is not aimed, motivated by his own liberation and helping as much as he can before that, but is motivated to truly help every sentient beings, which means that the practitioner will constantly develop his or her wisdom and skillful means in order to help other sentient beings. In the Mahayana path, not only, as a matter of fact, the motivation is said to be greater because it has no end and it go always expanding, I would say. But once the practitioner has achieved the level of nirvana, the level of liberation, he or she understands that it is not the end. The consciousness will not remain in this non-dual state, but will come out of it first to continue to help all sentient beings as the promise was made, but also to continue the path of development towards what we define as the complete enlightenment. Within the Theravada tradition, they assume that once one has achieved nirvana, it is the end. This is what they would call their Buddhahood, their Buddha achievement. But the Mahayana has a different perspective and understanding that it is not the end, and there is actually quite a certain path ahead, which will be made of 10 steps, which we call the 10 Bodhisattva lands, or the 10 Bodhisattva Bhumi. So this difference is important to know in order to understand the motivation of a Bodhisattva. Yes, both paths, the Theravada and the Mahayana, have been taught by Shakyamuni Buddha, are perfectly valid in that they lead the practitioner out of samsara, out of the suffering of samsara. But the Mahayana path will bring them further with a greater skills and greater wisdom, since their aim is not only oriented at what they can achieve, but what they can help the others to achieve. The specific motivation then, which is developed by the practitioner engaging into the Mahayana path, is called the mind for enlightenment, or which we call in Sanskrit bodhicitta, which is often translated by compassion, but this word does not cover the depth of bodhicitta. This mind for awakening implies that the practitioner make a kind of oath to walk on the spiritual path, always aiming at liberating all sentient beings from their suffering, which of course implies as well that one has to progress on the path, has to work efficiently on our minds, work efficiently on improving this mind and developing the wisdom which is necessary for and liberating ourselves from the bounds, from the links to the samsara, and to help the others to do so. This engagement of, at first, aspirant bodhisattva and then later on bodhisattva is extremely important in consequences. It means whenever the practitioner will reach the level of his own liberation, where he could remain in a non-dual state of mind, completely in peace, he will not. He might taste it a little bit, of course, to get acquainted with the meaning of it, for sure. But since he promised not to remain in it, he will soon come out of this meditation and engage into various activities which he knows will be beneficial for as many sentient beings as possible.